Hey everybody, in this video I'm going to walk through a build and strategy for defeating the Four-Eyed Daoist Master in Chapter 4 of Black Myth. This is the final boss of this chapter, and we'll pick this fight up after that first part where you walk in initially and help fight along with the other spider characters. So starting off, taking a look at the build and equipment that I was running. So I'm still using the Spider Celestial Staff for my weapon. I've got the Fireproof Mantle to build up some focus, and then I've got the Tiger's Acolyte, not only to increase critical damage with that equipped, but we're also going to use that as part of a combo at the beginning of the fight. And then for my armor, I've got the full golden set equipped, as you can see here. So I've got the golden mask, the golden shirt, the arm guards, and then also the greaves for the armor there. And then for my Curious, I've got Cat's Eye Bead for critical hit chance increase, and then Back Scratcher for some stamina increase. And then finally, if you can, make sure you've got your gourd fully upgraded. So I'm using the Medicine Buddha gourd, which gives us 9 uses. I've got the Jade Essence drink in there to also increase mana along with health. And then for the soaks, I've got the Bee Mountain Stone and the Fruit of Tao as well. And then moving on to relics. So obviously now I have 4, but back when I fought this, I only had 3. And for those, I had the Keen Insight equipped, the Whistling Wind, and then also I had Hold Breath as well. Moving over to Self-Advance to take a look at spark allocation. So I've got a couple extra sparks now, but when I did this fight, I had 82 total. So we'll take a look at where I put those. Starting off with spells, I suppose. The 2 primary ones are going to be Immobilize and Cloud Step. So I've only got 2 Immobilize under Crash just to increase damage dealt to immobilized enemies. And then I've got Cloud Step fully upgraded, as you can see here, as that's going to be pretty important during this fight. And that's really it for spells and transformations. I don't have anything under there. So Smash Stance is going to be what we're using for our Staff Stance. So I've got this upgraded for the heavy charge attack, so you can see those are all upgraded. And then I've got some points for the other abilities there on the far left. And then the remaining of the points are all kind of going to go under survival for the most part. I do have 3 under stamina just to increase some dodge ability. And then martial arts I've got upgraded to Punishing Downpour, but this is where I spent a lot of my points here. So we've got Wrathful Escalation fully upgraded to increase our critical hit chance. We've got Spiritual Awakening fully upgraded to maximize our mana. We've got Wrathful Might fully upgraded to increase our critical hit damage. And then finally, all my remaining points just went into Surging Momentum to increase attack. All right, so now getting into the fight as we run into the arena here. So starting off, we're going to kind of do a scripted combo right off the bat. First thing, make sure you've got your full stamina as you run into the grass here. And when you hit that grass, start charging a 3 focus charge attack. And then keep walking until you see his health bar pop up. That's going to be your cue to start sprinting. Then right as you get to him, you can hit him with that 3 focus attack. After this, immediately immobilize, do a light attack combo. And then once this finishes up, use your Tiger's Acolyte Spirit. And then after that, pop the Fireproof Mantle Vessel. So kind of 4 things really quick, back to back. Just taking another quick look here. 3 focus charge attack, immobilize, light attack combo, use the Spirit, and then pop that Fireproof Mantle to start building up some focus. So at this point, he's probably going to do one of 3 things. So we'll take a look at 3 scenarios on what we do after this. So what I got is kind of the ideal scenario where he goes into this area of effect attack. It's pretty easy to avoid. If you see his sword sort of start floating in the air, that's your cue that he's going to do that move. So start running backwards immediately, start dodging backwards, and you can usually get out of there pretty easily. After that, he'll then throw the sword at you with a ranged attack. Again, pretty easy to dodge left or right there. And then this is where he will do, he'll kind of square up and then charge at you. He says step closer. So I refer to this as the step closer attack. And then with this, we can then, because our Fireproof Mantle Vessel has been building up focus, we're in a pretty good position to already be ready for a 3 focus attack. So I just kind of sprint at him when he does that. You can see the step closer dialogue to get off that attack. Another scenario you might see, so going back to an example here where we're doing the same combo at the beginning of the fight, pop the Fireproof Mantle Vessel, and here he skips those first 2 moves and goes straight into that step closer attack. So if you're ready for it, you can try and get in an attack, kind of similar to the first strategy. I just backed away, but here you can see he instead then goes into the area of effect. So he's just kind of changing the order of things. But you still should be in a good position to have a 3 focus attack ready to go. You're just not going to have quite as clean of an opening, unfortunately. And then for the third scenario that you might see after this combo, so we again pop the Fireproof Mantle Vessel back up, and in this case he goes into his underground move, and if you see that, just go into Cloud Step for your first use of that. You easily avoid his attack, and also you have a really good opening for that 3 focus attack there as well. So now going back to the original fight, and again, this is kind of the ideal pattern that you want to see after doing this combo, where he does the floating sword, ground attack there. So back away, avoid that. He'll throw the sword, dodge left or right. And then this will give us an opening as he does the step closer dialogue attack, where we can get in that 3-focused heavy charge hit. So from here, now we're kind of waiting for him to do that underground move that we saw him do in the other scenario. And when we do that, we haven't used Cloud Step yet, so this is going to give us another opportunity to kind of do a quick back-to-back 3-focused charge attack. So from this point, we're in really good shape. And basically, from here on out, to get us to the next phase, we're just going to kind of rely on Immobilize, because we can still use that a couple times, and then also wait for a Cloud Step to recharge. And not only that, we have our transformation that we haven't used yet, so keep that in your back pocket. And it's also worth noting that you can't use transformation in the last phase of this fight, so you might as well use it, because you're not going to be able to use it in that phase. So you have that in your back pocket as well to kind of finish out any remaining damage too. So picking up from here, I back away, and he does this move, which is kind of annoying to dodge. If you just kind of start spamming the dodge button, you'll miss most of them. You might get a couple hits, but they don't do a ton of damage, so not really a huge deal. Then he does this move as well, where he lifts his sword into the air and imbues it with lightning, and then does 3 ranged attacks. So the first 2 are kind of back-to-back, and then there's a delay on the third one, but nothing too crazy to dodge there. But by this time, I have Immobilize as refreshed, so I can go ahead and use that to get in a light attack combo. And then also, by this time, we've got Cloud Step as well, so we can immediately go into that to get in a 3-focused charge attack. So after this, he should be pretty close to the next phase. So really just kind of using a combination of Cloud Step and Immobilize for this part here can get you by. And just if you keep your distance, you're not going to have to avoid, you can avoid a lot of his attacks for the most part. It's a bigger arena, so you can kind of run around a lot waiting for Immobilize and Cloud Step to refresh. At this point, he only needs a couple more hits to get into the next phase, so I just kind of hit him a few times to kick off that animation that he goes into, and this will bring you into the next phase of the fight where he changes the arena. So I didn't use, as mentioned, transformation, but that is something really valuable to use in this phase because, again, it disables it for that last part of the fight, so you might as well use it. So in this example here, you can see I still had transformation to use as just sort of another additional option to pull out some damage for this phase. Alright, so now going back to the fight and into the final phase, which can be a little bit tricky. You do have to be prepared for this because after he goes through his whole animation thing, he immediately does this 3-dodge combo that you need to be prepared for. So just taking a look at that one more time, he does a tail stomp and then 2 sword swipes. So dodge there and then dodge and then dodge. So just be prepared for that, and then he goes into another cinematic thing. And then as kind of the real fight starts here, after that, we've got Cloud Step, so going to use that right off the bat to charge up a 3-focus attack to get some initial damage in there. One thing to be aware of is if you notice the stamina gets severely limited in this phase. I think it gets like cut in half, as you can see. So you got to be kind of patient in this fight, and you can't be super aggressive. After you do a 3-focus attack, all your stamina is gone. So like there were times where I tried to go in for more attacks and just completely out of stamina. So just be aware of that. But for the most part, we're just going to kind of be doing a lot of backing away and kind of circling him backwards, as you can see. And then after he does attacks, you can kind of go in and sneak up a few hits. But basically just kind of waiting for Cloud Step to refresh. This was bad timing because he just did that attack. You can dodge that attack fairly easily, though. So if we take a look at another example, this is one you want to avoid. So right when those rocks are at their highest point, that's when you want to dodge. So taking a look one more time, rocks rise, watch the rocks highest point, and then dodge, and you can get by that pretty easily. After that, again, just kind of being patient, backing away a lot. As you can see, plenty of gourd usage, so any damage that we take here and there, we've got plenty of health to kind of pay for those. Just backing away, kind of really honestly just kind of waiting for Cloud Step to refresh again. As you constantly just keep back away, dodge moves as you can, refresh with your gourd. This attack can kind of be tricky and does a ton of damage, as you can see, so you want to be at full health. You can dodge it, so taking a look at a slow example here, he does that flash there right before, and that's kind of your cue of when to dodge, so you can see I dodged that attack there. So looking at in real time, the flash and then dodge. So that's kind of your cue to dodge that, and that one can do a ton of damage. So well, another reason to kind of keep at full health. If you miss that, you can survive it. This attack, pretty easy to dodge once you learn the pattern. It's just dodging right after that initial beam. So initial beam, dodge, initial beam, dodge, initial beam, dodge. And you just kind of have to do that for a while. Then he will follow this up after he's done with a pretty powerful grab attack. If you go into Cloud Step, fortunately that came back, so you kind of maybe want to save that until that attack happens. You can see if you don't, here's an example of him grabbing you and doing a ton of damage. So by using Cloud Step, kind of saving Cloud Step for that lightning beam sequence, you can avoid that pretty easily. Otherwise he's going to do this to you. So going back to the original fight, waiting for this sequence to end, and then use Cloud Step, and he tries to grab me, but obviously misses. And then this obviously, gives us another opportunity to get in another 3 focus charge attack. And at this point, pretty close to the end. Just need to kind of get one more hit in. So again, this is another example where I tried to go in for light attacks, forgetting that my stamina was so low. So here's the rock attack. Again, when the rocks are at their highest point, dodge that. This is also another opportunity when he does that attack. You can see he kind of is stunned there for a second. So once he finishes that, I didn't really react fast enough, but that's a really good opportunity to get in some hits after that attack, because he just kind of lays there for a second. So again, kind of same thing at this point, just waiting, being patient, waiting for Cloud Step to refresh, backing away, circling him and whatnot. Got my Cloud Step, and we're going to go in for the last kill shot here. So got my 3 focus, and there we go. So there you go. That's the boss for the Hundred-Eyed Daoist Master. So hopefully this video helps out if you're having some struggles. And thanks for watching, and we will catch you in the next one. Bye.